DC Parmet, you are the tour manager for Elton John.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
How exciting is that? How does one land a gig as the tour manager for a superstar like Elton John?
Oh, my gosh. It started many years ago when I was a small lad in Arizona, and I just kept working my way up the rock and roll ladder, and I met people who knew people, who needed people, who believed in certain people, and here I am today.
How long have you been Elton's tour manager?
Since 1990. Well, actually, I was just promoted about the past couple of years to tour manager, but I started working for Elton in 1997.
97. What was your first role for Elton?
My first role was the money man. I was the tour accountant. I would give out per diems and pay people and all that good stuff.
Oh, well, the band and the crew loved you.
Oh, yeah, what's not to love one day a week when you get a little envelope with spending money in it?
How was the first time meeting Elton John?
Oh, my God, I was so nervous because the first record I ever bought was Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Yep.
And there he was, Elton John, the Elton John. And I must have looked really super nervous because he looked at me, put his hand on my cheek, and very lovingly said, "Oh, dear boy, you're the accountant? No wonder why you look so nervous."
You know what? I can hear him saying that.
But he didn't know I was meeting Elton John. I mean, I was a fan before I was an employee. I mean, it was amazing. Elton John knows my name, knows me.
How exciting. So over the years, you grew to be friends and companions like that? Are you buddies with Elton John?
He's still my boss. I've been to a couple of his different houses, and he's still an amazing man to work for, but I never forget he's the boss. He's at the top of the food chain. Never forget that.
What's it like, life on the road? Do you go by bus or do you fly?
It depends on where in the world we are. We just did a tour in November and December of the Far East in Australia, and every other day it was on a plane flying somewhere. But when we tour in the States, I'll be on that great tour bus where you get in, you have a little snack, and you go right into your bunk, and you wake up the next day and start all over.
I've seen Elton. This will be my 7th time, and it seems like every time he is still so into performing live. How does he keep that up?
Well, he truly is a working musician, and he's very passionate about music and, making sure that everyone leaves happy and singing Benny and the Jets, Candle in the Wind. He's very cognizant, and the set list is very balanced between stuff that challenges him and the band, new stuff from the fantastic new album, Wonderful Crazy Night. Pick it up now, available everywhere. And, and the hits. It's a very balanced set list. There's something for everybody, for the hardcore fan that loves the deep album tracks, all the way to the casual fan who knows all the hits. There's something for everybody.
Well, that's cool, and he doesn't have the exact same playlist every night, I've noticed.
No, he tends to mix it up a little bit, because sometimes, when they start a tour, they find out that a certain song may not work with other songs.
Uh-huh.
It's really what it's like is setting a nice 7-course meal, except this is more like a 21-course meal because there's 21 songs or something like that. So this is like making sure that there's a balance for everybody. Like I said, for the casual fan, there's all the hits. For the hardcore fan, there's the deep album tracks. Which the new songs really stand up next to the old songs because they're all up-tempo, they're happy songs, they're celebratory, and everything really balances out nicely.
Yeah, I did notice that every time I have been to see Elton John, I'm on my feet most of the night.
Sure, because because the songs by heart.
Yep.
I mean, they're in the fabric of our DNA. And when they come to life with the crowd and the band and Elton, it's really special.
Any good backstage stories you could share?
Oh, my gosh. Let me think of something that That's G or PG.
Yeah, that's what we need to keep it here for this show.
When we were in Hawaii, Elton and Kirk Hammett from Metallica were talking about music and Lou Reed and things like that. This was a couple of years ago after Metallica did the collaboration with Lou Reed, and it was 8:10, and I had to interrupt them and say, "Fellas, I'm sorry, but the show should have started 10 minutes ago." So I guess that's sufficient for work.
Okay, very good. Does Elton have any dressing room demands? You know, you hear about some of these artists that want M&Ms. They all have to be red or something like that. Does he have anything that he is particular about backstage in his dressing room?
Well, Elton arrives at the venue usually pretty early, and he likes to hang out and watch TV and, take a nap and Skype with his kids. So Elton's dressing room is rather palatial. It's we do the best. Elton's wardrobe guy does the best he can to transform a locker room from a locker room to something that would be an Architectural Digest during the course of a day. I mean, new carpets and things like that, and pipe and drape to cover the walls. Keith really does a fantastic job of transforming a locker room into a palace.
Locker room into a palace for Sir Elton John. I love
John
that
story.
What's that?
Locker room to a palace, the Elton John story.
DC, we're thrilled that Elton John is coming back to the Star City of the South, Roanoke, Virginia. Berglund Center is the place. It's a Friday night, too, which is perfect, March 18th. I cannot wait to see Elton John for my 7th time. And, DC, we hope that you're going to enjoy your time in Roanoke, and I hope it's a great show.
I will. I'll be spending St. Patrick's Day in Roanoke because we had the day off before. So watch out for the crew.
All right, DC, great to talk to you. Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, sir.